Good evening, folks, and welcome to the third edition of the Cast and Contrast podcast. And as you can see, we are fishing. Unfortunately, there's not a lot to see because it is dark, but it's about the only chance I've got, and that was the first cast of the year of 2026, so I'm pretty pleased. So for the Cast and Contrast podcast, we're 3 episodes in before we've even cast a line, but I'm pleased to have you with me and sharing it. I'm on a pier. It's cold. It's bloody cold. I'm a long way from anywhere. And yeah, Jesus, it's cold. I think if Jesus was here, he'd tell you it's cold. You're supposed to come back. I think he, if you think about it, he had a pretty good run of it where he was living. It was in around the Israel and Bethlehem and Middle East sort of area. So yeah, I don't think he was experiencing I think it's about 2 degrees at the moment, clear sky. I don't think he was experiencing anything like what I am right now. And it's probably why he hasn't come back. It's supposed to be the second coming, wasn't there? But yeah, he's probably up there looking down thinking, Jesus, I had it good. If I come back now and have to spread the word, I'm going to have to go to these far-flung places. There's a lot of people living where it's pretty damn cold. So yeah, maybe that's why we haven't seen the second coming, if you believe in such things. If it was to happen, gee whiz, do you reckon it would be easy for him? Back in the day, all he had was the spoken word. He'd soapbox and have a chat. People would listen. It was probably pretty novel for the time, but these days he'd be competing with TikTok and Snapchat, and I think there have been quite a few people that have attempted to claim that they're the second coming and dismally failed. So they've kind of ruined it for him as well. How's he going to convince an audience in this day and age that he is actually Jesus? What a shame. He's done all that. He's taken a couple of thousand years out. He's tried to time it. He's probably left it a bit long if you think about it, because he would have had an easier chance in probably the 60s and 70s. I think there was a lot of the church attendance was greater. There was a lot of stuff going on, a lot of cults and stuff. People were probably looking for something like that. Now, if you're not believed in the first 30 seconds, first 15 seconds, scroll on. So you could actually have a situation where he is here. And he spends a lot of time trying to convince people and no one's believing him. Wouldn't that be a travesty? Yeah, I wonder. And if it was real, I wonder how it would compare to like a Trump press conference. Everyone's looking at Trump and he's getting a lot of attention, and that blonde-haired spokesperson of his, all the pomp and pageantry and everything else as well. What's Jesus going to do? I can't imagine him at a lectern. He needs a PR company. He needs good PR representation to work this one out, because that's a tough job. Yeah, and he's got to fix the weather. He really does have to fix the weather. I don't understand. I know there's scientific reasons for it, for the whole the Earth's on an axis and we have seasons, and we need those seasons for the world to be in the place that it's in, for it to work. But God had a blank canvas. He had a completely blank canvas. He could have done what he wanted. He could have put the Earth's axis where he wanted it. We could have been spinning around with one population on one side of the Earth in a perfect orbit and rotation of the sun, where we're permanently in sunshine, and the plants would have liked that. The plants, in our biome, the plants need a rest. We need a rest. I kind of get that, but Okay, let's have the day and nights, but why isn't the whole world just a permanent summer? People would be happier. The economy would probably be more stable because you wouldn't have this winter peaks of fuel dependency and heating. The gas price goes up in the winter because people are heating and whatever else. I just think it would be easier and nicer. So he had a blank canvas. I wish I could speak to him. I wish I could speak to him and say, what were you thinking here? You could have had it. It could have been so much nicer for everyone. See what his rationale was. No doubt it would be something like we have to suffer. We have to have times of suffering to appreciate the goodness. I kind of agree that a little bit. If you don't have bad times, you can't appreciate the good times. But I'm quite north here. I'm quite far north, and I don't really understand. I really don't. So I guess maybe you're accommodating for people because not as many people live where it's this cold. Well, I say that, but there's plenty of people living in Canada and Paris and stuff. But Paris it gets hot in the summer, but it gets bloody cold in the winter. And New York, big population, that can get pretty damn cold there. So yeah, maybe, I don't know. I'd still like to have a chat with God and say, what was you thinking when you came to put this weather system together and you put the world on a wobbly axis? Did you really think that one through? It'd be great. Wouldn't it be funny if he just said, you know what? You're right. I got it wrong. I got it wrong. Yeah. Big responsibility creating a world though, isn't it? 7 days to do it. Yeah, that's a big responsibility. So he did get it wrong. But in the grand scale of things, maybe we're all surviving. Maybe it wasn't the worst thing to get wrong. No doubt there's people who have their own views on this, and maybe I've spoken a bit too much about religion. I've also pulled the politics in, haven't I? So the two things you're not supposed to speak about. But I've given it a go. What's going on with this fucking fishing? I'm not getting a bite here at all. It is cold, and I'm not expecting much, but it's nice to be out. Nice to be out. When I'm fishing, these thoughts are going through my head, and it's nice to be sharing them with you. You might really, if you're listening, maybe you're enjoying it. I can only assume that you're mildly amused or interested at my ramblings. Otherwise, you wouldn't be listening. But yes, I did say that I'd have some guests on the podcast, but unsurprisingly, in the far north remoteness, when it's 2 degrees, maybe colder, moon's out, stars are out, no one was really interested in coming out for a cast with me tonight, which maybe is not surprising. I'm wondering if anyone can tell where I am. There's a few clues around me. I'm not going to say. I know what we say is, put your answers in the comments. I think that's a bit egotistical, but if you want to, maybe you'll get a few seconds amusement out of it, and so will I. You got to celebrate the small wins. So yes, if you know where I am, put your answer in the comments. At the moment, this is the 3rd episode. I'm still really learning what I'm doing. I think it's strange that people expect people to be experts at everything on the first attempt, and I've listened back obviously to a couple, and I don't think I'm an expert by any stretch of the imagination. I think actually in the last one I sounded a bit doomed up, but to be honest I was. So you might say it's an accurate representation of how, that was, if you're watching on YouTube, that was a duff cast. We call it a cunt cast. They still catch fish, but that's better. That's just me out of practice. Yeah, it's funny how people expect you to know what you're doing. I was a bit doomed up on the last one. I thought, yep, got to sound a bit cheerier. So hopefully I'm fishing, so I'm in a good mood. But I tell you what's interesting, on the software you host and you upload your podcast, and there's a thing on the software that we use, and it has this function of removing the pauses. And I think it's incredible. I think a pause, I'm really conscious of pausing now as I'm saying this, but I think pauses are important. It's time for contemplation. It's time for consideration. It's time to emphasize a point. And yet this software, if I pause and I use this function, if I pause for half a second, it'll give me the option to remove it. And I'm just thinking, are people in that much of a rush? Are people honestly in that much of a rush that they can't listen to a half-second pause? And it's the short format. I know it's the short format. I know people are only interested in the short format. No, not only, I shouldn't say that. I know that's popular. And equally, there's shorts of this podcast that go out just to let people know what it's about, give them a snippet. But to listen to the whole thing and take out the pauses, deliberate pause, I think it's ridiculous. I really do. I've got a friend and she works in the corporate world, and they would be doing corporate videos, information videos, and they themselves have had to take even a 3-minute video in the corporate world. We're not talking about kids on YouTube here. Is too long. And their media team has said that you've got to break it down into, multiple 20-second videos. Like, what the fuck is wrong with our world when people can't take more than 20 seconds, even in the corporate world? These are people making big decisions on our pensions and insurance and our, I don't know, all sorts of things, how much we pay for stuff. And it's whether we import things. And I don't know, I don't really know what I'm talking about here now, but I just think the pause is important. I'd do a little bit of presenting and work and with the brewery. And if you want us, I should be able to pause. And sometimes I would use a pause, ask a question, make people think. But in this day and age, that pause is just getting completely clipped out. So you get these rapid fire, jumpy videos. So, and I know it's training our brains. I know I'm starting to sound like a conspiracy theorist now, but I know that they're changing exams, changing the way we do things. All because I'm going to move location here, or because we're not keeping the attention spans of people. I was fishing there, guys, for you because it was a little bit lighter, and I'm not sure how well this camera's going to perform in the dark, but I'm also fishing and want to catch a fish. So I'm going to go off the end of this pier here. There's not usually this many boats around, and equally the light at the end of this pier is not on, which is a bit of a bummer. I'm not sure if you can see it. I'll try and show you. There's a beautiful full moon. Well, not full, damn near full. And I said to you how light, how clear the sky was. You can see it there. I'm going to try here. Not as much light. I'm not sure how much you'll be able to see, but I'm going to try. It would be nice to even just get a bite, just to know something's out there. I have caught codling here before, but again, a little bit like what I was saying before, if you're catching fish all the time, it doesn't get much fun. You need the bad to appreciate the good, and this isn't bad at all. Out in the fresh air. Maybe that's what I'll call this. Need the bad to appreciate the good. A few more cues of where I might be as well. We'll see what you think. So yeah, I am pausing. pausing. I'm looking forward to fishing in different spots for you. Some of you might be more interested in the visuals and the fishing. Some of you might be more interested in what I'm actually saying. However, I have got a few ideas for topics, and I've got some people I want to bring with me to discuss them. But for now, I know it's another short one, but I'm still getting to grips with things, and I think that's probably me. So If I do catch a fish, I'll throw a photo of it if you're on the video podcast on the end. And I'll put it in the comments as well for those who aren't on the video. But yeah, make sure you take time out to relax. You need to look after yourself, and a pause in life is often a good thing. Righto, guys. See you later.